Hi everyone, Demon Ferret here. It's been a while since I did a commentary style video, and this is not likely to change anytime soon. Between work and personal responsibilities, I just simply don't have the time for YouTube. However, I'm expecting this video to reach a different audience than what I usually cater to. For those curious, the drawing programs I'm using today are Affinity Photo and Designer, which are the closest Adobe equivalent programs I've ever used, and I really like them. For those who don't know, I'm a big Warriors fan. I've also been following multiple fan projects for the series, including Warrior Cats Animated and Little Dragon Studios, who both started making episodic series for the first set of books. I'm a huge fan of the work Warrior Cats Animated in particular, and I've been playing with the art style myself, as you can see in what I'm working on. 2 weeks ago, though, Little Dragon Studios' pilot premiered, and then just a few days later they announced on their community tab and on Twitter that the project will not continue. The reason cited was that the official Warriors team approached Little Dragon Studio and told them it would be in their best interest to hold the project to remain in line with the updated fan project policies on the official Warriors site. These policies are listed in the FAQ. I'm going to show it here on the screen. Since this announcement, many have responded negatively, and some have decided to contact the Warriors team directly through the contact on the website about their displeasure over the decision. That's what I want to talk to you guys about today. The main point I want to get to is Working Partners, the owner of the Warriors trademark, their hands are tied. They sold the film rights to Alibaba Pictures in 2016. So, regardless of the status of the Warriors movie, we haven't heard anything since 2016. But regardless of any of that, Working Partners allowing a fan rendition of an episodic Warrior series that follows the plot of the books could very well constitute a breach of contract with Alibaba. And this is a problem because that's a huge lawsuit. Breach of contract lawsuits are not only cover the amount paid for the rights, but usually also involve any potential lost profits from the movie, even if the movie hasn't started production yet. So they're going to factor in, well, if we did release this movie, how much in box office sales would we have lost? Because Working Partners allowed another project that's stealing that spotlight and stealing that business. I hear some of you saying, but these projects aren't movies. It doesn't matter. Film rights in almost all circumstances cover both episodic and film representations. So if, let's take Narnia, for example. Narnia has switched many hands over the years. There was the first film series that had, the puppet Aslan thing. I've never watched it. But then they bought the film rights first. Then it was sold to, I believe, Disney did the original Lion, Witch of the Wardrobe, which then sold it again to Fox. And now the rights have been sold again to Netflix. So the rights are just changing hands. It's not like Netflix has a super specific set of rights to only do a series, whereas Fox still holds the right to do films. It doesn't work that way. I also hear you saying that the projects are volunteer-based. No one is profiting. Still doesn't matter. Because if, say, let's take Warrior Cats Animated. It released, and it was very popular. Less people may go to see the Alibaba film, like I had mentioned. So they're going to run on the idea that these projects are taking away profits by lowering the amount of people who are going to go and see a box office film when another thing that they can watch for free is already available. Due to this, Working Partners most likely has no say in this decision. And also probably no say in having to update their FAQ. That was probably spurred on by people making episodic series that Alibaba probably made it a requirement to have this done. Or Working Partners had to do it because Alibaba was starting to be nervous. Historically, Working Partners and the Erins have been very in favor of supporting the fan base. The team allowing Little Dragon Studios to still publish the behind-the-scenes video and bloopers, and allowing the pilot to stay posted at all is extremely generous considering how copyright claim heavy corporations can really be. And even further than that, the official Warriors site has a Warrior Cats Animated, at least one piece from Warrior Cats Animated, on the site itself. They have no issues with supporting these projects because they've always supported the fan base. They being working partners, may also be anticipating Alibaba themselves to strike down projects that seem like a threat to the film. So in this case, we're talking about episodic or movie-based interpretations of the book. They might be expecting Alibaba to do it instead of working partners planning on doing these things and issuing these takedowns. And my suspicion on that is because the language in the FAQ is not absolute. They say that it may get taken down, meaning that working partners, probably would not be the one instigating those takedowns. And for those who don't know, the official Warriors team, the site is run by working partners directly. Some kind of I forgot what company took over, but it's something that is under working partners. So it's not like it's a third party that's collaborating or anything like that. It is direct. So in my opinion, looking at the FAQ, looking at the release that Little Dragon Studio did, it seems like the official Warriors team is trying to protect the fan base and prevent content from being removed. And if that means telling people, hey, you might not want to continue, it's a fair warning, honestly, as opposed to a threat like a lot of people are taking this to be. Now, with all of that said, this is my main point. This is what I want to get to. Please stop telling the official Warriors team to reverse the decision. It won't change anything, because more than likely, they can't change it. The Erins can't change it. And I'm not trying to be defeatist, mind you, but realistic. All you end up doing is flooding the Warriors teams with dozens, if not hundreds of emails they cannot do anything about. They are obviously trying to be supportive of this fanbase in whatever ways they are allowed. Anything beyond that is not fair to the request of the team. Keep in mind, a lawsuit for breach of contract, depending on how big the purchase was for the film rights, and how much Alibaba might claim in profits they lost, could end up severely financially hurting the Warriors' property or potentially even bankrupting it. Now, Warriors is a pretty big franchise, so bankruptcy is unlikely, but it could still take a very good hit. And that would mean less content for us, and it could mean having to stop producing Warriors books in its entirety. All kinds of things can happen with these kinds of lawsuits. And it's not fair to try to force the official team to put themselves in that kind of position, even if they had the power to do so. They also have livelihoods. They have families to feed, too. I hope that this was informative and shed a bit of light on the bureaucracy of visual media adaptations. Little Dragon Studios has come out and said that they're not going to continue with Into the Wild, but they will be advancing on their own projects. I'm very excited to see where that goes. Warrior Cats Animate, on the other hand, from what I can find, has not made any official statement about what's going on here or how they're going to move forward. They may have released something through their patrons, I'm not sure, but as far as the public is concerned, they have said nothing. So as far as anyone is aware, they're still moving forward as usual. I'm curious to see if they're still going to release Warnings Be Damned, but we'll see where that goes. Like I said, I hope this sheds some light on things, and please just don't harass people, especially when they probably are just as powerless about this as we are. Until next time, everyone,